Welcome back to your Yankees Latest. I'm your host, John Laloggia. Yanks start the series tonight against Kansas City. It should be a good one. I want to talk a little bit about Judge and just kind of remind everyone of the historic season he's having. He had 11 home runs in the month of May. He is on an absolute tear. He leads by WAR by a pretty substantial margin. And there's really no limitations for this guy. He can really do everything. He leads in all major categories. Batting average, 396, on-base percentage, 493, slugging percentage, 771, OBP, or OPS, 1.264, hits, 95, extra base hits, 42. He is pacing by batting average by at least 20 points, and possibly might win the Triple Crown and might even hit 400, which is incredible. No one's done that since Ted Williams. I mean, he's at 396 now. So I just want to remind everyone, you're watching greatness. Pujols' run in St. Louis, Bonds, asterisk run in San Francisco. I mean, these are historic numbers that he's putting up, and regardless of what he does in the postseason or October, it shouldn't take away that he's one of the greatest hitters we've ever seen. A guy that big, that much power to right center, and just the consistency from him is incredible. And he's just an absolute stud, and it's just unbelievable what he's doing. His own players can't even believe it, and even some of the Red Sox players. Ref Snyder from Boston after the series said he's going to go down as one of the greatest Yankees ever, and you can't really fathom that when you put your name next to Babe Ruth or Gehrig. He's right there, and his numbers don't lie. He works really hard, but it's just the consistency from him. It's just unbelievable. So I just want to remind everyone that we are witnessing greatness here, and he's a huge reason why this team is absolutely cruising right now, and well in first place and one of the best teams in the American League. I want to talk a little bit about trade rumors. So we've talked a little bit about this. I want to talk about the players, and then sort of what would need to happen for them to get them. So the Yankees reportedly definitely need pitching help. So Felix Bautista from the Orioles has been mentioned. He is recovering from Tommy John surgery, but we have seen an upside option, because the Orioles are looking to sell because they're terrible. And I think that's viable. Right-handed bat, third base. I don't think Arenado is going to be a key for them or an option because of the way Cardinals are playing, but Chisholm's playing really well, and I think if he can stabilize that position, they may not need third base help. But starting Sale, it's a hypothetical blockbuster, would cost definitely a top prospect. Brandon Lau, probably unlikely due to roster congestion. They have a ton of infielders now with Chisholm and LeMahieu back. Bautista, I think, would be awesome. They just claimed C.J. Alexander is a AAA player, long shot for Major League Impact, but a guy that I think would be helpful. They claimed him from the A's, left-handed hitter, slash line 264, 330, 502, showed power, 42 home runs and 908 plate appearances. So, I think. Peraza and Reyes are ahead of him in the depth chart, but Chisholm's playing solid at third base and LeMahieu now at second. So I think Alexander is viewed as sort of a bench guy or just a depth option, but something interesting that they recently did. I just think that there's some viable names. We'll see what happens. But there's so many things that are going to happen between now and the trade deadline. New players are going to emerge, but just something to keep your eye on in those couple players. I would love for them to get Felix Bautista. I think that would be absolutely huge for them. I think they need more bullpen help than they do starting pitching. Injuries and transactions. So Weaver, the left hamstring strain, June, July, I don't know. Any soft tissue injuries like that are tricky. It take a while to come back. Jake Cousins still with the forearm strain sometime in June. Giancarlo Stanton, who knows? We talk about him every week. I don't know what's happening with his elbows, but so he said we'll travel to New York sometime this week. He should be there now, and said he could start a rehab assignment in minor league North affiliate in Northeast sometime this week. He's been doing a lot of work in the player development complex, but they're not going to rush him back if they're winning and they're in first place. I think what they're doing, this is like conspiracy theory John, but I think they want him fully healthy to possibly either use him later in July or use him as a trade piece at the trade deadline. To be like, hey, he's fully healthy. We nursed him back to health. We didn't rush him back. He's fully healthy, ready to go. He could be used as a huge trade piece because they have a DH in first base with Rice and Goldschmidt. They're really solid over there. And so there's going to be a lot of teams that want that extra power in Stanton. So I think part of me thinks that the reason they're not rushing him back, obviously they're playing well and they really don't need him right now. But I think they want to trade him as a viable piece because of his injury history, to present him to a variety of teams saying, hey, he's fully healthy and therefore we want something really great in a transaction. Luis Gil, that's probably the biggest one that I'm seeing to come back. They need him. They need him desperately. And that's one of the reasons I think he will come back. He will come back strong. And I think bullpen help is a little bit more important than starting pitching, because he'll supposed to be come back this month, if not this month, in July. I think they're totally fine. He threw a bullpen on June 7th at Yankee Stadium, so he's progressing and doing really well, throwing a bunch of side sessions and advancing to live BP pretty soon. So that's great. Stroman, left knee inflammation sometime this month. We'll see. And Oswaldo Cabrera, obviously, out for the year. So those are some of the couple transactions, but keep an eye on that Stanton one. I'd be curious to see if they bring him back sometime mid-July, let him play for a couple weeks, show people that he's capable, he's healthy, and then possibly move him at the deadline. I would not be surprised by that at all, and I think that's one of the reasons why they're taking so long with him. Last but not least, I want to preview the Royals series. This should be a really good one. So they start tonight. They have a 3-game set in KC, all-night games, 7:40 Eastern start time, all 3 days. The next 3 days, great matchup tonight. Fried versus Cameron, 2 lefties. Fried has just been incredible, 8-1, 1.71 ERA, 0.94 WHIP, only 18 walks. He's been incredible. But Yankees 39-25, Royals 34-32. Royals pitching's great. They can't really hit outside of Bobby Witt. Jack Caglione is a new young player that's come up, a big-time lefty bat that got 4 hits the other day and is going to provide some power along with Pasquantino and Witt, which they desperately need. They just need more slug and they need more offense in that lineup because they pitch, and they pitch very, very well. So should be really good. I'm excited. I think this is a really good matchup. It's also a matchup, a recap of them facing each other in the playoffs, and that was a really, really great series. And I think the Yankees were a little surprised at how well the Royals played, quite frankly. But Caglione, he's an outfielder. I would watch him. I think he's an absolute stud. We've seen a lot of highlights from him in the minor leagues, just absolutely raking. So, no offense, but now you have Witt, who has an OPS of 929, Pasquantino, and Caglione. I mean, you're starting to get some pieces that can absolutely rake for this team. So don't sleep on the Royals. This is a very good team, even though they're a little above 500. But I think this is going to be a great series, and I expect Fried to be very good tonight. That's been your Yankees Latest. I'm your host, John Laloggia. Join me tomorrow to recap this game this evening, and we'll see you there. Thanks for watching. Take care.